What do you think comes after a UBI? Like once you've implemented it, are there any kind of other big changes that you see are necessary that would be good to do?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to focus on basic income. Certainly, if the way you get people their money is functioning properly, if it isn't broken anymore, then that allows you to see what your remaining problems are. I think like basic income often comes under fire for people like listing all the different problems it solves. Really. Basic income does solve a lot of problems, but that's because all of those problems are a result of one big problem, right? If you imagine a world that already has a basic income in it, and you ask someone in the street, what problem does basic income solve? That person's just going to say, well, it's how people get their money. That they're not going to say, oh, it's the solution to poverty, it's the solution to automation, or it gives people more freedom or something like that. It's going to be this boring, routine, mundane thing that is just part of how the world works. And if you say like, well, what if we removed the basic income? That would be like, like what do you want to break the economy, right? So I think in terms of what's next is a world where you have a functioning money distribution system, and there are still going to be problems. It's maybe a little bit difficult to see what those problems are because we've got all these problems right in front of us caused by the absence of basic income. But problems like climate change is a huge thing. So what I was just talking about, you get your money distribution system, working properly. You have a basic income at its natural level. Maybe you're like, oh, we're burning resources too much. We're emitting too much carbon. Maybe we want to use fiscal policy to reduce that. That's also going to reduce the basic income, but maybe it's something that's worth it to do. In a basic income world, you don't need economic growth. You can have the economy staying the same size in terms of output. You can have degrowth if that's what you need, to be more sustainable, that kind of thing. Right now, if you tried to shrink the economy, it would be this very unstable thing where there'd be like deleveraging and a lot of people losing their jobs, and like it would be a disaster, right? But in a basic income world, you can reduce resource use and everyone can pull back a little bit, and there's nobody who's really like in extreme poverty relative to other people. I think, I don't know for sure if we can sustain, 10 billion people on the planet, but my hunch is that we really can, and that our economy is getting, more efficient. Our resource use is getting more efficient, and that would accelerate. That process would accelerate. If we have things working efficiently, that allows us to innovate more efficiently as well. So I think there's a lot of possibilities that open up when things aren't completely broken. Like imagine, just by analogy, imagine you have your country and all of the roads are just shot. Right, none of the roads work, and you're advocating, oh, I want to fix the roads, and then someone says, well, what do you imagine a next step after that? Well, yeah, now you have a functioning, like transportation system, right? So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.